Budget and Finance Committee has spent time studying all of the student activity portfolios budgets. At the conclusion of this process, it is the goal of this committee to present to the SGA Senate a fair allocation of the student activity fees to each student activity portfolio. I would like to thank each committee member, student activity portfolio, and advisor for their hard work and cooperation over the last few months. My name is Reese Lisenby, and I am the Budget and Finance Chair of the Student Senate. Tonight's hearing will be conducted in accordance with the Budget and Finance Hearings Policy and Procedure. The following rules of order shall be adhered to at all times at the discretion of the Budget and Finance Chair. When recognized to speak, the person with the floor should stand, say their name and title, speak, and sit when finished. Discussion on any given line item shall be limited to 15 minutes, at which time the chair shall table discussion on the current line item and proceed with the hearing. If needed, the chair has the authority to remove any participant or member of the audience from the hearing room. At this time, we will begin with each student activity portfolio presenting for their organization so that we can all learn a little bit more about what tonight's student activity fee allocations are going towards. Will student organizations please come forward and share your presentation with us? Please remember that each SAP is allowed 3 minutes to present.
Hey everybody, my name is Reed Silver. I serve as the chair of the organizations board, and I'm the representative for student organizations tonight. I just want to share a little bit about what I do as the organizations board and a little bit about what we are requesting for the budget. As the chair of the organizations board is the residing governing board over all student organizations here, founded by students to serve student passions, student interests, and we are the listening body for them. We help to promote new organizations that are coming here to Auburn's campus, as well as help our existing organizations to make sure that they are within our guidelines and they are growing, so they are functioning well. We also, a big part of our job is to help fund these organizations from the many events that you see all around Auburn's campus and many that are even across the United States that they get to travel to. We are the governing body that gets to help fund these events in order to make sure they are within the guidelines, which is passed by the Senate, and make sure they're representing Auburn well. The majority of our line items relate to the organization's fund, which helps fund these events and travel costs. We also are excited to start working on a diversity enhancement fund, working with the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Juwan Robinson, as well as a few other administrative costs. And that's all.
Thank you, Reed. Will the Black Student Union please come forward and share their presentation?
Hi, everybody. My name is Kiara Butler, and I'm the representative for the Black Student Union. In the Black Student Union, our motto is unity through education. Can you go to the next slide for me? This is our purpose, but it basically says what I just said, unity through education. So you can go to the next one, Brad. This is a list of some of our major events on campus. One of the things that we really want to do is expand outreach. So we are the Black Student Union, but we're a lot bigger than just Black students. It's a safe space for Black students, but we also want to educate our peers on things that are going on in our community, as well as getting an understanding of what's going on campus as well. We're requesting more money this year so that we can do exactly that, which is reach further out on campus. UC Breakfast for You, I'm sure you guys have seen us on the concourse on the first day of school giving out free chicken biscuits, and that's where we start. And then Unity Week is another big event for us, so we definitely want to get more money so that we can reach other people on campus and make our purpose known to them. And that's it.
Thank you, Kiara. Will International Student Organization please come and share your presentation?
Hello everyone, my name is Madeline McNeely. I will be representing the International Student Organization. Our purpose is to create an environment where international students and domestic students can celebrate together where they're from culturally, where they're at, and then where they will continue on after their academic career at Auburn University. 3 of our big events, one including Social Hour, which happens weekly, especially during the fall semester. Since COVID, we're a little bit more lax on the restrictions. Thankfully, since everyone is wearing their masks and having hand sanitizer, we're actually getting to meet in person and gather together and share a tasting. One of our other events is Peace Dinner, which is similar to a Thanksgiving meal, where all the organizations come together to create their own food in the kitchen and then share that meal to the community, and it is free for everyone. And then our last event is the Recognition Banquet, where we celebrate the academic achievements and integrity of our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Madeline. Will leadership please come forward and share their presentation?
Hey guys, my name is Rosie and I'm the VP of Administration for Emerge at Auburn. Our goal as Emerge is to help students develop the skills they need to become effective leaders on campus, in their communities, and in their future careers. Next slide, please. We have 3 phase programs. The first is Explore, which is a full year program targeted at underclassmen, and it helps them develop their own unique leadership style. Next, we have Spark, which is a semester-long program that is focused on servant leadership. And at the end of the semester, Spark participants create and present their own service project. Then we have Transform, which is a semester-long program where we pair participants with industry mentors so they get a better understanding of the fields that they hope to enter. In addition, we have 4 initiatives. The first is Discover, which is a 3-day retreat led off of Auburn's campus. It helps participants learn the fundamentals of leadership so that they can be more confident in their ability to lead in other areas on Auburn's campus. Then we have Leadership Lunch and Learns, which is when students have a free lunch and they listen to guest lecturers speak on various topics. Then we have Leadership, which is a 1-week retreat led off of Auburn's campus. And there we guide students in developing their own personal leadership philosophy, as well as teaching them the importance of equitable leadership. And finally, we have Leading Beyond Auburn, which is a grant that students can apply for to help fund any professional development opportunities that they can't afford on their own. Through our accessible and effective leadership development programs, Emerge at Auburn hopes to help students develop their profiles as successful and efficient world leaders. Thank you, and War Eagle.
Thank you. Will programming come forward and share their presentation?
War Eagle, everybody. My name is Jacob Dewey. I'm the Vice President of Finance for UPC. And as you can see, we have some fun facts right here. All these attendance numbers are from 2019, 2020, because that's the last semi-normal year that we had. As you can see, we had almost 6,700 people attend events in total. About 4,800 of those were unique students, meaning that, we did have some repeats, which you can see here. We had over 1,200 students attend more than one UPC event, and the vast majority of those were off campus, and since then we've made some kind of changes to how we program to try to incorporate more on-campus students into our events. So what is UPC? So better known as, University Program Council. We're Auburn's programming board. We work to provide a positive and engaging atmosphere for students on campus. And our mission is to enrich each Auburn student's experience by providing inclusive and engaging programs that foster community and a positive campus culture. So you can see we have 8 committees within UPC. We have 6 programming committees. We have campus traditions, films, video games, Tiger Nights, special events, and Welcome Week. And then they have 2 support committees, Technical Productions and Welcome Week. And our Technical Production Committee actually helps with other student organizations and their events as well. One of the big ones they do is they help out with AUDM's main event in February. We help to put on a lot of the sound and lighting that goes on there as well. So what do these committees do? They put on a whole host of events to help give Auburn students experiences to, make new friends or just to enjoy their time with their friends they already have. I personally, whenever I first came to campus, I was an out-of-state student, didn't really know anybody other than who I'd met at Camp War Eagle. And first event I ever went to was a film in Langdon Hall. And it really helped me to feel more comfortable on campus and to feel that, I could be a part of the Auburn family and do well here. You can see some of the events we have, things from like Tiger Fest. We also handle Welcome Week programming. We do films, including in the stadium. We do laser tag and anything and everything in between, anything that we think students would want to see and that would give them, a positive campus experience. We also combine with other organizations through collaborations such as Black Student Union and then also International Student Organization to help program. And then we also have a fund for student organizations that maybe don't have the resources to be able to put on their own events, and we can provide them with those funds as well as some, professional guidance since we are the experts on programming. So, yeah, that's all. Thank you. War Eagle.
Thank you. Will SGA come and share the presentation?
Should I take this off and hold it? All right. Hey, everybody. How are we doing? All right. Well, that's good. Go. My name's Stephen Sadie. I'm the SGA treasurer this year. I'm just going to walk through just kind of high level what each of our line items are used on. So if you see right here, here are the two budgets. On the right is the budget that we're asking for this year. On the left is the allocated budget from last year. It's in a pretty close range right here. And that's something that we try and do, but there's a couple changes I'm going to go through a little bit later. High level, what some of these things are going to be allocated towards are the Student Government Association, our mission statement, is serving and promoting the individual student and unifying all that is Auburn. So some of these are initiatives, and then some of these are traditions that I'm sure all of you have participated in. We go to the next slide, Reese. So first one, graduate and professional schools. So there's three kind of line items that we're spending money on here. First, graduate schools. Second, the vet med, and then third, pharmacy schools. So a lot of these type of things are just like some of the different groups that are coming up here and have different events. Each one of these different organizations has events that we help them fund. Go to the next one, Reese. Oh, you already did. Okay, schools council is the next one. We allocate about $500 to each of these different schools councils. So that might be business, agriculture, things like that. And this is for name tags. This is for different small events, interactions that you might have with individuals. Athletic programming, for the most part, this is, if you see on game day, stuff like that, whenever you have the shakers or pom-poms that are distributed already in the stands for you, whether you see the seat labels, kind of stuff like that. Next, academic programs. So what this is for the most part is this is like final lecture. So we'll have one of the teachers that is nominated by students to come up and give a final lecture. We give them a plaque. That's one of the main things that we use for this, and then honor ceremony as well. We have a brief little reception for all honor students at the end of the year as well. OBBY, so I hope all of you know what OBBY is. If you don't, OBBY is our mascot for the university, but more than that, just outside of just seeing him on game days, we also use him for a lot of outreach and stuff like that. So this is a fund that has been increased significantly, and that's because SGA is taking a little bit more under our wing away from athletics. Heyday, hope that all of y'all have had a chance to come to Heyday. This is an opportunity where, essentially you put a name tag on, you say hey to all the students on campus. We're hoping with COVID going away that we'll have more of an in-person type of event for this, and everybody here will have an opportunity to kind of meet other people on campus. Communications and marketing, as you see, it's kind of broken down into like 4 or 5 different groups right here: campus media and engagement, elections, initiatives, outreach, and Senate. So this is just basically essentially all of our graphics, all of our promotional things for Heyday, for all these different groups that we might have going on. Senate. So biggest thing about Senate right here is that we pay for DocuFree and then Eagle Eye TV to stream all of our different Senates for everybody to be able to see from their home, anything like that. So those are some of the line items that we have to pay for there, and that's our legislative branch. Outreach, so this is being able to connect with individual students, gather feedback. So as you see here, we have Up All Night, which is something that used to be under academic programming, but we put it under outreach because we think that this is a good way to connect with students outside of just academics. Creed Day, so this used to be Creed Week, which we'd take like a line of the Creed and we'd break it down Monday through Friday, but now we just changed it to Creed Day, so we'll just be focusing on the entire thing in one day. Better Relations Day, so Better Relations Day is essentially where Georgia, Alabama, and Auburn University all come together at one of the universities. So this year it's either going to be hosted at Alabama or Auburn. Either way, it's going to be about the same amount of money, but we take roughly 30 to 40 members in SGA or leaders elsewhere on campus to be able to go and share ideas and thoughts with some of the other leaders at these other universities. Elections, so if you've ever been part of an election, whether that's Miss Auburn, Miss Homecoming that's coming up right now, president, vice president, treasurer, that's what this money's used for right here. Freshman Forum. Freshman Forum is a group of roughly about 50 freshman students that's going to be chosen here in the next couple of weeks. And these things are just used for stuff like the meeting and projects, and then food and snacks and stuff like that. Miss Auburn, so Miss Auburn is our representative of the university. And so at the end of her term, we give her a bowl, and then we also give her like projects and supplies and a little fund to use for any initiatives and stuff like that. SGA Leadership Training, so we have roughly about 100 people plus probably in SGA between the different governing branches. And we have both a fall and spring retreat where we try and train these leaders and also just get everybody together to bounce ideas off of each other. And so we give them food and snacks and materials to best prepare for that. And then initiatives, so this one used to be a little bit bigger, but initiatives is kind of one of those branches that our executive group comes together and tries to plan out our goals for the next year. So we do a lot of initiatives, but we really only have or need funding for one line item. Executive Council, so this is mainly just used for our executive team, so like president, vice president, treasurer, people like that. Cole Callahan just walked in, he's our vice president. And then lobby board, external affairs right here. This is used for connecting with governance groups in the real life. So we'll have, many politicians that will participate in this. And this line item's changed a little bit just with COVID because we used to go to Montgomery and have different lobbying events, but now it's used more so kind of on Zoom and stuff like that. And that saves us a little bit of money and still allows us to interact with some of these politicians. And that is all.
And lastly, student media. I think I missed service, but service will go after student media.
There it goes. Hi everyone, my name is Sydney Bowden, and this year I have the honor and privilege of serving as Student Media's business manager. So today I'll be representing all 5 student media organizations. There only 4 receive funding from student activity fees. Okay, so these are the 4 organizations from student media that receive funding from student activity fees. The Glomerata, which I've been a part of since freshman year, is our campus yearbook, and this year we were working on the 125th edition. Weagle is our student-operated radio station, which also hosts local bands and artists through their live event series, Auburn Stages. The Auburn Circle is our literary magazine, which is published once each semester and features student creative work. Finally, Eagle Eye TV is our television station, featuring a variety of content from news to sports to entertainment, and in fact, they happen to be filming us tonight, so thank y'all so much for being here. Our 5th organization is the Plainsman, our newspaper, but they do not receive funding from student activity fees. So student media's role is not only to provide services to the student body, but to develop the skills and preparedness of students within our organizations to enter those media-related jobs. In an average year, we see about 350 to 400 students get involved in student media. So our group impacts a large number of students both inside and outside of our organizations. Through each of our organizations, students involved can get hands-on technical experience that future employers are looking for. Some of our students have gotten offers from CNN, ESPN, the Weather Channel, and more, using the skills and experiences that they've honed in our organizations. Here are some statistics, and what we want you to see from these numbers is that each organization is growing, not only in membership, but in audience, especially on social media. This year, 10,120 unique viewers visited the Glomerata's recently updated website, which is a 65% increase. The Circle's website had a 77% increase in their page views from 2020. This year, our community watched over 191,000 minutes of content on Eagle Eye TV's YouTube channel, which is their highest watch time total in the channel's history. 10,175 unique users listened to the Weagle online live stream this year, which is a huge 65% increase. And on campus, we distributed 7,500 copies of the GLOM and 2,500 copies of the Circle, which doesn't even include the copies we intended to distribute in the spring of 2020 that ended up being distributed in the fall. Hopefully what you're able to gather from all of this is that student media is composed of intentional organizations. Each dollar we're asking for is tied to specific items and equipment we intend to purchase so that we can continue to grow and thrive both as individual organizations and as a student media group. So it is an absolute honor to be a part of student media. I hope each of you have been able to enjoy the resources that our organizations have shared with our student body. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.
Thank you. And now, lastly, service. Sorry, you're on.
Hey, I'm Caroline. I'm serving as president of Impact this next year. And service programs is broken up into 5 different organizations, and so kind of our main goal is to bridge the gap between the Auburn community and just the Auburn campus. And so if you go to the next slide. Here are some statistics, and I'll start off with ASB. And so they're kind of a service organization that just offers service trips throughout the year to focus on pressing social and environmental issues. And this past year, they did 9 trips with over 1,000 service hours. And then with AEDM, they are a year-long fundraiser for Children's Miracle Network, and they raised $370,000, and there were over 1,000 students that were registered for their main event. And then for Beat Me My Food Drive, that is a competition between the University of Alabama to raise money for the Food Bank of East Alabama. And this past year, they had their 2nd highest amount of donations in BBF history, which was during COVID, so that's really awesome. And then, so next we have Impact. And that's kind of our central resource for weekly volunteering opportunities in the community. And this past year, we had over 3,000 volunteer hours and over 600 volunteers during COVID. And then lastly, we have the big event. And so they're like a student-led day of service that's in Auburn, kind of just our way of saying thank you to the Auburn community. And this past year, they had over 550 student volunteers and 140 job sites in one day. And then we have GivePulse, and that's just kind of our platform of our way to track our service hours and our volunteer numbers. And this past year, we had over 1,500 users that were registered and over 7,000 volunteer hours. And yes, and so we hope that y'all have been able to see our hearts for service and how the Auburn family truly does spread well beyond our campus.
Thank you, Caroline. The BNF final budget hearing is now called to order. The first order of business is to state the amount of student activity fee money available for allocation tonight. That number is $2,499,729. The total amount of money being requested by the student activity portfolios is $1,771,249.20. This means that a surplus of $728,479.80 will be placed into the reserve fund and program expansion fund. The next order of business is to distribute the surplus between the reserve fund and program expansion fund for the sake of providing student activity portfolios with opportunities for growth and flexibility throughout the year. As a reminder, the reserve fund is used for one-time requests, while the program expansion fund is used to increase existing line items or create new line items that your organization hopes to add into your budget for annual usage. During the year, we encourage you to use our form on AU Involve to submit any reserve fund requests or program expansion fund requests. If you realize you need more money for something or you have a new program or project that you would like to provide for students, feel free to reach out to your BNF representative at any time to talk through your needs. Of this year's $728,479.80 surplus, $128,479.80 will be added to the reserve fund, with the remaining $600,000 utilized as the program expansion fund. As a result of the past few weeks of working with all of you to responsibly budget for the year, the budget is balanced and no cuts are required this evening. Thank you to all of you for the work you've done with us to get to this point. The Budget and Finance Committee will now begin writing legislation and passing it through the SGA Senate floor to confirm approval of your full budget request for usage in the new fiscal year, which begins on October 1st. Student activity portfolio representatives, you will not be required to attend the upcoming Senate meetings where the legislation will be considered. We will reach out to you if it is determined that any adjustments are needed. Now let me remind you of 4 important expectations of you for the weeks and months ahead as we enter into the new fiscal year. Your money is being allocated to specific line items, and it is expected that the funds allocated are used only for those specific purposes. If you for any reason decide you need to use money in a different manner or move money from one line item to another, you must request approval through the Budget and Finance Committee according to the Code of Laws. You may bring this type of request to your B&F representative at any time throughout the year. As you heard earlier, the Program Expansion Fund will be set up with $600,000 for the year, and the Reserve Fund will have any additional money available as well. We want to remind you that these are here to help you expand and grow your programs and to encourage new ideas that enhance the student experience. We understand that new ideas develop and changes occur throughout the year, so please take advantage of these opportunities to request additional money as needed by submitting those requests on SGA's AU Involved page. Each year, the B&F Committee conducts carryover hearings in late October to handle the carryover of some money from the previous fiscal year to the new fiscal year to cover expenses from the previous year. You will be allowed to carry over money left over from last year's budget only if there are purchases you have already made but that have not yet made it through the university's budget process. Student representatives, please work closely with your advisors and administrators to determine if you have any line items you will need carryover money for to cover recent expenses that don't get fully processed on September's budget. Any other money that you have left over from last year will be moved into the Reserve Fund. Carryover hearings will occur in late October, and we will be emailing you soon with instructions on submitting any carryover requests that you may have. Lastly, we will soon be reaching out to you with a budget tracker template to help you stay accountable for managing your budget on a weekly basis. We will expect every organization to be thoroughly and consistently managing their own budget tracker by remaining in close communication between students, advisors, and admins. These trackers will help you record every expense that your organization has so that you can be aware of where you stand, and they will also provide as a great tool to pass on to your successor when they are budgeting for the next year. To close, we have balanced the budget for the fiscal year 2021 to 2022, and the Budget and Finance Committee will spend the next 2 weeks going through the process of having the Student Senate confirm the budgets. Thank you in advance for the creative ways in which you will responsibly serve their student body through the usage of their student activity fee, which is allocated to you. Does anyone have any questions?